All right, guys. I'm going to really quickly try to do number 6, 12, and 13 from the Algebra 2 quiz review, practice quiz. If you have questions on that, these are the ones that I think maybe you had the most questions on. Let's start with 6. I think 6 is actually pretty simple if you remember or have the rule written down for your roots. That's if you have, for instance, a to the power of m to the root n, you can rewrite this as a to the power of m over n. In which case, if I have 2 to the power of 6 root 3, I can rewrite this easily by saying 2 to the power of 6 over 3. Now, if I simplify that fraction 6/3, I get 2 to the power of 2, which equals to 4. And it's simple as that. This is actually one of the ways we can use the fractional square roots as a shortcut for finding our answer. Now, some of you may have actually done this instead. You may have found the third root of 2 to the 6th. So 2 to the 6th equals to 64. And the third root of 64 just equals to 4, because 4 times 4 times 4 equals to 64. Well, you arrive at the same answer as what we did. This requires that you actually multiply 2 times 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 2. I think I said too many 2s. Only supposed to be 6 of them. And when you multiply this out, then you get 64, then you can find this cube root of 64. But if you know this little shortcut rule right here for the fractional exponents, it makes it so much faster. Let's take a look at number 12, which is very similar to number 7 on the front of the page, where you're supposed to write step by step. Just remember that we kind of discussed what these step-by-step rules are. Remember, step number 1 was to distribute. Step number 2 was to get rid of negatives. And step number 3 was to simplify, either by multiplying the terms together or dividing the terms out, or adding and subtracting exponents, basically. So let's do that. First, we're going to use rule number 1. We're going to do the first thing, which is to distribute. So that's 3 to the 5th, m to the 10th, n to the 15th, over n to the negative 5. Next, I'm going to get rid of the negative exponent. So I'm going to circle 5, n to the negative 5, 5th power, and move that to the top. When I rewrite that, I get 3 to the power of 5, m 10, n 15, that's an m, sorry, and m 5. Alright, and when I simplify this out, I notice that the m's have the same base, so I can add their exponents. And 3 to the 5th is 243, right? 243, m to the power of 10 and 5 give you 15, n to the power of 15. So your final answer, 243, m 15, n 15. Now 13 is probably the trickiest question, but it's tricky not because it's difficult, it's just you have to do these 3 rules kind of like twice, because there are 2 separate parentheses you need to work with. So let's start with the very first one, which is s to the power of negative 3 over 4t, all to the power of negative 3. If I were to rewrite this after distributing my exponent, I get x to the positive 9 over 4 to the negative 3rd, t to the negative 3rd. My second one would be 5, negative 2, t, negative 2, all over s to the power of 14, because that's how I distribute it. You know, negative 2 times 1, t, negative 2 times 1, negative 2 times negative 7. That's how I get these. Next, I'm going to get rid of my negative exponents. So, again, I'm going to circle in yellow. I have 4 to the negative 3rd, t to the negative 3rd, 5, negative 2, t, negative 2. I'm going to write those out. I'm going to rewrite this entire problem after having moved them from where they are up to where they're supposed to be, or in this case, down to where they're supposed to be. So on the top, I have 4, 3, s 9, t 3 over 1 times 1 over 5 squared s 14 t squared. Let's combine these together. 4 cubed s9t cubed times 1 is just the same. 4 3s9t3 over 1 times 5 squared s14t squared. Alright, after having done so, I'll just cancel out any exponents I can cancel. I cancel this 2 with a 3, and that gives me 1. I cancel this 14 with the 9, and that gives me 5. And I can't cancel 4s and 5s because they don't have any common factors. So I just got to multiply that out. So 4 cubed is 64. S is no longer on top, and I have t to the first power over 5 squared is 25. I now have s to the power of 5 on the bottom. I no longer have any t's on the bottom. So my final answer is this, although as a word of caution, please don't write, where's the eraser? Please don't write t to the power of 1, because if you write t to the power of 1, it's not incorrect, but it is not technically most simplified, because we don't write anything to the power of 1. If you have questions about this, feel free to email me. You know what my email is, it's on the school website. If you want to look at some of the other examples, you can take a look through my YouTube channel and hopefully find something useful and or interesting. Probably not interesting though. Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow.